Okay, so we have here burnt sienna, Naples yellow, cadmium red light, and we're going to mix touch of each, because this is a small painting and I'm using a round brush. Now we're going to put some, start with the face. The face is going to be the darkest because it's underneath the hat. And acrylic dries darker anyway. Okay, let's do that. Now, what I'm going to do is take red, yellow ochre, Naples yellow, mix them together, and put some for the skin tone here. She looks a bit too yellow right now, but that's okay. That's the first layer. We're going to put another layer on top of that. Actually, she looks a lot too yellow on white. Let's get some white going and add some red. Increase the amount of red, less Naples yellow, and adjust this color. Ooh, that's better. Much, much better. Did someone exit? Linda.
I think Linda's gone.
Yeah.
So did you add white to that layout?
Yes, yes, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
It is cadmium red light and Naples yellow and white.
Okay.
I'm gonna let it dry. So now to highlight the skin over on this side, I'm just trying to add a bit more highlights here. You know, honestly, I don't think we need to put too much detail. Mm-hmm. So highlight a bit. That's cadmium red light and white. Just cadmium red light and white. And a bit right here, right there. Again, a bit over here, because this is the part where the hand is higher. This part. So, and this part is higher, so the light is hitting this area. The shoulder is always the lightest part. And we're going to take a bit of that same combination of color, but not as much white in it. And just try to highlight this area here a bit. Not much. Picking up my brush, push, more like a glaze. It's not a thick. Okay, I think I went over too much. So I'm just going to take a bit of burnt sienna and put it here. There. The only reason I'm doing this is just because I don't want the face to look completely different than the skin tone, the rest of the skin. Now, once I do this, I'm going to take burnt umber and just put the first layer for the hair. You're welcome to put any color hair you like. Doesn't have to be burnt umber.
Do you want to make her blonde, have blonde streaks? Is it burnt umber or raw umber?
No, burnt umber, still burnt umber. Yeah, raw umber is too gray.
Okay.
Yeah, burnt umber has a bit of red in it, so it's easier. And then you use whatever you like to use, like yellow ochre and or raw sienna and with cadmium yellow light to get that blonde color.
You're like the glam one.
Yep. All right, here we go. Once we put the color of the dress, the skin tone will look better. Right now, it might look a bit too strong. Okay, for the dress, we're going to use, I'm using cerulean blue and ultramarine violet and lots of white. Now, if you don't have cerulean, you can use any blue. You can use cobalt blue, whatever blue you have, it works. I'm going to try to get it. I'm sure it's going to dry darker, so I don't have to worry about that. And this is a good, yeah, that's a good color. It's a good color. It's slightly darker than what you're seeing. Okay, it's not that light.
Sorry, Lael, I had a phone call I had to take. So I'll have to catch up with some of this on the video.
No, it's what we are using right now is I'm using cerulean blue, a bit of ultramarine violet,
Okay,
and white. Now, what you're seeing on the monitor is a bit too light. It's not that light in here. It's a bit darker than what you're seeing.
okay.
Okay, so you need to keep some room for highlights. You need some, otherwise if we start too light, then it's going to be hard to add highlights. I'm going to darken a bit. I'd rather go darker than light and then highlight it if I need to, but so this is cerulean, ultramarine violet, and white. I'm going to go dark here. Yeah, you can see this is a bit darker. That's better. Good. You want to see blue. You don't want to see white, blue. Yeah, it's good.
So it's a very pale blue, is it, Lael?
Yes, yes. I would put I'm not going to worry about the plants around her. If her dress goes over the plants, that's okay. We'll put them back on. Oh, that's a bit too much. We definitely have to put the plants over her dress. Now, let's see if we can put some of those highlights. So I'm going to add white. And let's see. It might be a bit early, but I think we can, especially here. It's always like this with folds. Folds have, when you're doing folds, it has to be a soft kind of highlight. Adding a strong highlight will make it look a bit strange, kind of. Because folds are soft when if you look at a detail of a fold, it's really a very soft transition from light to medium to dark. Now, I'm not sure we're going to be successful here because of the size, and because it's acrylics too. Acrylics, very hard to do that soft transition because it dries fast. bit more highlights in here in the back. So I think the light is coming from this side, from behind her. Okay, a bit. This is the strongest highlight right now. So I'm adding a bit more white. So the highlights really, if you look at it carefully in your reference, highlight is up here in this area. And as soon as it goes in down here to turn, this is darker. So see, if you look at this right here, this is the lightest right there. And then right here. I mean, if we're looking at this curve, only this curve, this one right there, you will see this. This is light and this is slightly darker and this is dark. So even in this, there are 3 values. This little area, it has 3 values. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn, this is like a glaze right now. It's not heavy paint. Wipe my brush and then just give it a bit of a movement again here. So when I add white to my color, the more white I put, the less of it, smaller brush strokes. So the strong white after, at the end, when I'm trying to highlight, is really kind of a small area. It's not much. You just have to wait for the color to dry and see how dark it's going, and then just adjust it. There's a strong pleat, a strong shadow here, right there. I'm going to try to do it. I'm not sure I'm going to be. I'm using ultramarine violet and blue. Oops. And white. Bit of white. So let's see if we can do that. I'm just gonna. It's like a dry brush. Take a bit of highlight now, just a tiny bit of white and blue, and come here and highlight this area a bit more. And right here. Ultramarine violet, tip of my brush, put it here. This is a strong line right here, too strong. So I'm going to try to soften it a bit with blue and white. Oop. I'm going to add more blue to my white. Oh, that's better. That's better. Take white now and blue and highlight this. It's easier to blend and to have a smooth pleat or a smooth fold when the paint is still wet. Both colors, both paints, the light and the dark, still wet, because then you can blend softly. So you won't have a harsh line. Usually with pleats and folds, there's no harsh line. It's a very soft transition of from dark to light. But with acrylics, because it dries fast, and this is a small area, it's really hard to do this. So whatever we end up with should be okay. I'm going to go back to picking up a bit of light blue and adding a soft highlight right here. Wow, acrylics is hard to work with. Right. Okay, let's do the hat.
Can you move it a tiny bit, Lael, so we can see the hat?
Oh, sorry. Oh,
That's okay, it's okay.
thanks. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna add a bit of more blue where it dips in. It dip here. There's kind of a and right here. I'm gonna put a ribbon on this, a blue ribbon, because I can't see. There's no detail in here. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm gonna be
Excuse me.
Sue. Trying to blend light and dark when it's wet. Okay. Now, let's put a blue ribbon. I'm going to take just cerulean blue, maybe mix it a bit with white, but mostly dark, like just cerulean blue. And then put a touch light. Oh. Okay. So we have burnt umber. Can you see the colors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Burnt umber. We have yellow ochre. I have here dioxazine purple, and I have sap green. So what I'm going to do now is work on the basket a bit. So I'm going to mix both yellow ochre and burnt umber. And I'm just going to, oh, it's not. Let's take some Naples yellow to make it lighter.
Oh.
Some of the Naples yellow that's there, because I can't see it. It's not light enough. Ah, that's better. And you see here, it changes a bit. The value is darker in this, on this this area, in this area here. Again, just a suggestion of a basket. Shouldn't do too much. Start highlighting a bit more with adding a bit of yellow ochre in here. And now back to adding Naples yellow. This is burnt umber again. just a suggestion of a basket, but you know, I'm not taking the highlight all the way down. I'm keeping the bottom part darker right there. Now, let's take some of the X is in purple, and I'm going to put white. Now, I know in the basket, the flowers are more blue. I'll come to that in a minute. This is for this part down here.
I'm sorry, is that just dioxide purple?
Yeah, yeah, the X is in purple. Now, I'm going to take sap green and push my sap green up. That will soften the dioxazine purple. So push it up. It's more like a glaze right now. I'll go back. Dioxazine purple, bit of white to soften it. Soften my dioxazine purple here. And I have to be very careful. I don't want to put too much. I don't want to overdo it. This is blue, just the same blue I was using for the dress. I'm going to go in with that kind of blue and white. So just adjust a bit and open up. Adjust after adding, so you know, the purple in here. Putting some blue will soften this area as well. Okay, good. I'm going to do the same. This is sap green. This is cerulean blue and white. Not too much white. more white. Oh, wipe my brush. That's too much. That's again, I'm mixing now dioxazine purple and white. I'm gonna put a bit of dioxazine purple in here and white with the blue that I put in there, just to have some of the background color in the basket. Add some on top of the basket too. A couple of dots. I'm going to take a bit of burnt umber and make it into a glaze. So make it more transparent. And just put a bit here where her dress is. Oh, that's too much. I'm using a bit of Naples yellow now in the same in my burnt umber. But just because I lost the highlight, I put too much. It will dry darker. I'll wait for it to dry. And then I'll kind of glaze in between, a bit darker in between here. Baskets are a bit tricky because of the weave. You don't want to completely lose when you start highlighting, you don't want to completely lose the weave, the highlight of where the weave is, but at the same time, it shouldn't be too strong. good enough. Okay. Highlight the hair a bit. Okay, the paint on my finger is distracting me. All right, let's highlight this hair. So I'm gonna take burnt umber and I'm gonna put in it a bit of burnt sienna. And let's see, that's burnt umber, burnt sienna, and yellow ochre. We can get away probably with burnt sienna and yellow ochre. Let's see. Oh, nice. Okay. I wipe my brush because I don't want too much color on it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Excellent. Right, I'm going to take a bit of burnt umber again, put black in it, wipe my brush, make sure I wipe my brush. And I don't think we should highlight this part because it's already sitting over a dark area in there. Oh my God. Need damage control now. Oh, there we go. Fix it.
Lael, I'm gonna have to sign off,
All right.
but that looks fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll finish mine up when I
Sure.
redid my whole tree area.
Oh, okay. In the background. That's good. Okay.
And I'm redoing the field now because I didn't like the way the brush strokes were. So when I looked at your video again, I paid more attention to what
Okay.
you're doing.
Well, send me if you have any questions, just send me and I'll adjust whatever needs to be adjusted and send it back to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're
I'll
welcome.
talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. I think that's him.